every adoption, as I understand it, is different, and it's not one shoe fits all. So that's a decision that is made between the social worker and the birth mother and the adopted parents. They agree to that prior to making a commitment. So some young women, I'm sure, prefer to, once they surrender the baby, want to put that phase behind them and move on with their life. Other young women may like to be up to date in the first few years to make sure the baby is being cared for as she expected to be. So I think that's a decision that is made prior to placement between the social worker, the adoptive parents, and the birth mother.
Well, when we first came to St. Elizabeth, we applied and we went through the process and getting to know everyone here and getting on the list. And at the time, really, open adoption wasn't the trend that it is now. So that was all we knew. We didn't really know what the other options were, so we really couldn't compare. We were just so thrilled we got the call. We did have and do have wonderful non-identifying information that we have used from time to time as far as, a medical question or, maybe your vision. Let's check back in the bio history to see, where there's things that we might need to know. And then 4 years later, when my daughter came along, that was different. That was very different. It was an open adoption, so that meant we got to meet the birth parents, and which was great. I can't really say that one was better than the other one, but getting to meet, and I think really more importantly, it's wonderful for the birth parents to meet us and to put a face and a name and just be able to, yesteryear of you have the baby's whisked away, you never really know who gets your baby, who is raising your child. But this was a way for the birth mother to see us, get to know us a little bit, and just rest that, it was her decision. It was her decision that after meeting us, she thought we were the right family to adopt her biological child. So that was a semi-open. I know they vary today from closed, semi-open, and then the more openness. And the beauty of it is that the birth parents get to decide.
Our first adoption was an open adoption, and Ashley and I were, I guess, leery to a certain extent about that because we weren't sure long-term how much contact we would have and what that relationship would be. We've continued contact with the birth mom. We've met with her a few times. Bryson, our first child, is now 2, and we've met with her, I guess, 3 or 4 times over the course of the 2 years. He would turn 2
at least once
in April.
A year.
Yeah.
And we send pictures every 3 months to the agency, and they forward them on to both parents if they're interested.
So it's been a good experience, I think, for us and for him to continue to have contact with her and know that she did help her to understand that she did make the right decision. We recently adopted a second son in January of this year, and that adoption was basically closed. Having our first adoption so open, we really kind of expected the second one to be equally as open. So it was kind of not a letdown, but
an adjustment.
Yeah, to see both sides of it. But at the same time, we wanted to respect her wishes. So we've done the same thing for both children, provided pictures as they grow to St. Elizabeth's, and they're here if she wants them. So it's kind of up to her to kind of proceed forward and if she wants to have any more contact.
The birth mothers are the decision makers as far as how much connection and communication that occurs between the birth mother and the adoptive family. Our birth mothers were young, and then they chose for us to send pictures and to St. Elizabeth's. And when they want those pictures and want information about how our girls are doing, they get it from St. Elizabeth's. We have not had contact, like direct contact with them. I think given their age and they wanted to start their own lives, go down a path, that's what they've chosen to do. And we've respected that, and so there's been a lot of pictures sent, birthdays, Christmas, Easter, etc.
My words of advice to anybody considering adoption, especially open adoption. I know we had our doubts, and we had spoken to other people who had done open adoption and, kind of got how they were handling things, based on, their relationship with the birth mother or birth parents. And I think we definitely went into it thinking, we might not be as open as we did end up being. More because there's that fear there of just not knowing, how the dynamic would work. But anybody thinking about open adoption, I would tell them at least come and talk to St. Elizabeth's about it. Talk to them about the different dynamics that they've seen between families, and think about how they think they might want to handle it, but then keep an open mind as it happens, because you just don't know until you meet those people, and kind of, start to form that relationship. But I would tell anybody, come and pursue it. Don't hesitate because of a fear of not knowing how it's going to work out. And I would say it's a leap of faith. It definitely is. And it's not easy, but it's so worth it in the end that, I would tell anybody, don't hold back from experiencing the entire experience and trying to get close to, if you're chosen especially, trying to get close to and know the people, the birth parents that have selected you, because for them it's a comfort, I think, for them to always know that you are still interested. You want to not get as close as you can to them, but, put that effort there to try to start that relationship before the baby's even here, even if there's an agreement that you won't keep in touch afterwards for whichever side. I mean, I think it's still important to get to know that person, and you can then share what you know about them with your child, even if you don't keep that contact. But yeah, I would tell anybody to come and talk to St. Elizabeth's, because they really are a fantastic group.